Hello, Nichelle. How are you today?
I'm just great, beautiful.
I'm so glad you could come visit us today. First of all, I just want to say today is February the 8th, 2013, approximately 9 p.m., and we get to speak with you at this moment. So we're very, very excited and grateful that you could come out to our home.
Thank you so much. It's a beautiful home. And I love your doggies who seem to love me too. One big one, one little one. It's funny that my son, who works his little tail off with in his work, thinks that I should be letting up, you know. And I say to him, Kyle, when you pay my bills, you'll be able to tell me what to do. You don't pay my bills. And he says, well, if you didn't travel so much or something like that, you shouldn't be. And I said, you can't tell me what I can and cannot be as a human being any more than you can tell a woman what she can and cannot be, or do a man what mountain he can climb. Mm-hmm. All my ventures in my life have been mountains. Yes. That I enjoy climbing. And I think he still really doesn't understand. And there are a few other people who think I should be, I don't know, do housework or something that fits my age. Mm-hmm. Well, I said, when you pay all my bills and all my luxuries that I have enjoyed in life, maybe I'll let you say one thing in my life, but you don't pay for my life, you don't own me, and I don't try to own you.
May I ask you, do you currently still want to act and go out to your conventions and signing your photos? Is that
Absolutely.
It still excites you?
It's very exciting, because for every era that comes along with Star Trek, it's a new era, and yet Star Trek is ahead. You know, so that makes it for me a strong and powerful presence in my life, because I go out to speak at Star Trek conventions. They're not every night. They're wait until the really important places that we go, and the people, the fans, are so appreciative, and they all have questions.
Yes.
Some of them are the same questions you've worked with before, but most of them, even if it's the same kind of question, there's a newness in it.
Yes.
So it's not, I was trying to tell my son today, who wants me to stop.
Stop doing what?
Star Trek, stop going out of town, I go to Europe, I go to New York, I go to San Francisco, I go to wherever to Texas, wherever the treks, and that's mine now.
Yes.
For me to enjoy. And now it's a kind of a reverse enjoyment, because it used to be the stars, the fans, didn't know what was coming up next because we were still running, but they still want to come and shake our hands and tell us personally what Star Trek has meant to them, what each individual actor has a coterie of fans who come to tell them why they are their fans, each one's fan.
Yes.
What Gene Roddenberry in creating Star Trek brought to the world is something that nobody else has done since or yet. Has not done better yet, and has done from the get-go. the really important role of yourself knowing who you are, as opposed to me being somebody's fan, having fans because I'm me. I'm Nichelle Nichols.
Yes.
Lieutenant Uhura,
Yes.
on the other hand, really brought a sense of power to that person, because they saw within the time that what Jean wrote, something that belonged to them. Mm-hmm. They're their own selves.
Right.
They have the power to. They're not waiting for. They're creating new Trekdom. Every time they go to a Trek scene, they learn something new. They bring their babies, their children, and if you could see a little 6-year or 7-year-old boy standing there going, "Why'd you turn your hair white, Lieutenant Uhura?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you don't like it." "Oh, no, I like it." And another comes up, "No, I like it when it says," and they get into their little battle.
Debate, yes.
And the mothers are going, "Oops, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Miss Nichols, don't be sorry, because this is our future. These are our future." There and just to think that Gene Roddenberry and his creativeness, in his own creative way, it changed the face of the world. Because everyone now has the attitude that I'm not a follower.
Yes.
I'm a leader.
You are.
I'm a leader, and I wish to lead those who wish to follow with something that frees them into an enjoyment of something that will last forever.
Well, I'd have to say that you've led a lot of people, men and women, but in particular women, because
Yes.
the role that you played on Star Trek as Lieutenant Uhura, I mean, first of all, you're an African-American woman, and so many African-American young girls, such as myself, looked at you and thought, wow, I can become something. I can go into business. I can become an actress. I can become an astronaut. So you inspired so many people, from Star Trek through the blaxploitation films, through all the other films that you did for Star Trek, and all the other work that you did. How did you handle the stress? How did you build yourself into that entity that you are as Nichelle Nichols?
Anything you do in this life, you have to earn in order to eat, in order to do the things that make your body strong, and so forth. So that's a must. And so I must work in order to have a life. Then I'm going to work in the area that I love the most. And I'm just luckily, it pays my bills and then some.
Yes.
NASA came to me when I was appearing at a Star Trek convention. By the way, NASA's filled with trekkers. So
I would think so.
make no bones about it,
Yes.
And they came to me almost as fans, instead of business people. And they brought me to NASA headquarters. Now we're doing talking business. And I was shocked from what they wanted from me. They wanted me to recruit the first women and minority astronauts for the Space Shuttle program.
Wow.
And I said, why me? There are speakers out there, I'm an actor. Because, they said, when they hear it from you, they know it's true.
Yes.
So you cannot pass this up, because there are young women out there that are being their own young women, their own person,
Yes.
because of you, because Gene Roddenberry gave us a varied and beautifully varied concept of what life is, should be, and how we should be respecting one another. Not that we must, but we should be respecting one another, as women, as men, as women, as children. And children learn faster than the grown-ups. It's like telling a housewife to stop doing what she does, and then you start turning around and say, why is all this stuff piled up here?
Right.
Well, if you don't, get out and do it yourself, because I'm very busy over here doing this.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and nobody can tell me. And I understand what my son, but my son doesn't pay my bills. I pay him more than if you want to be talking about that. But he's a successful young man in his own right in New Mexico.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of him. I would never tell him to stop doing what he's doing.
Exactly.
And so, you know, it kind of, I keep bringing that up because that's most current. But it's also the current thing in my life, you know,
Yes.
that concerns me. My son telling me I'm too old to work, practically. And the difference between that attitude and my going out and talking to and responsible for hundreds, sometimes thousands of young women who said, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
I get as much fan mail today as I ever got. And they all want me to know not only do they love Star Trek, but what Star Trek has brought to them.
Yes.
And I'm this is something that I'm seriously, I like to joke and so forth and then, but I'm very, very serious.
Yes.
What I do in this area, God gave me this opportunity to enlarge on.
Yes.
And
Now,
that's it.
So, you know, in life, you know, we experience so many things. You know, there's people who want us to do this project. They want us to do that project. They don't want us to work. They don't want us to, you know, do this, that, the other.
You know, sound like my son.
And they you know, they may make decisions for us. You know, personally, you know, we know each other.
Yeah.
You've come to my home. I'm grateful, you know, to have your time and your friendship.
Yes. It's mutual.
Thank you. What would it mean to you working so hard for everything that you have worked hard for? As all of us do, we go to work every day and we pay our rent, we pay our bills, we pay for our clothes. What would it mean to you if that was taken away from you? If your property was taken away from you, if everything that meant something to you was taken away from you and you had no control?
Well, first, I've seen that happen. So the first thing I did was protect my property. Nobody can touch it.
Is that now? No
That's
one
now.
can touch it?
That's been for 10 years now. And
And do you want to keep it that way?
I demand to keep it that way. Now, when I die, if I die,
We all do. Yeah.
my property goes to my one and only son, whom I love
Of course.
dearly. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do something, you don't have a right to do something, or that you're too old to do something.
Right. Right.
I'm as old as I think, and I think powerfully.
Right.
You know, I am as old as I think, and I do not think less of myself. I don't think on a small basis. There are people that just who can't seem to understand that. You know, I have my beautiful home in Woodland Hills. I have 2 houses in Woodland Hills, but that big black gate when I come home, and as it opens, an entree to my home, and those big black gates close, I have all the then my privacy begins.
Yes, if someone said to you, Nichelle, I want to take care of your life. I want to tell you what to do every day. I want to tell you where to live. I want to tell you when to sing, when to dance, when to play. Is there anything that you would want to say to someone if they were to say that to you?
I don't know if I can say it on TV to the camera, but the answer is no, there's nothing they can say. And I love what I'm doing, and I love people who are in this industry, and we share. It's an industry in which you share with people instead of pulling back that they've got all of this. They don't deserve it. They deserve every damn moment that they put into it, and that's the way I feel about myself.
Yes, yes.
And I intend to be doing that for, let's say another 80 years.
Hey.
I'll let you know. It's been wonderful being with you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, well, hopefully we get to see you again soon in our home.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nichelle.
Thank you. Anytime.